Welcome, everybody, to a brand new segment here on the program called On the Market. Kent Browne is here. He's the broker-owner of Royal LePage team and Royal LePage Gale. Good to have you here. Welcome.
Kurt, pleasure to be here.
Going to be here every couple of weeks talking about the real estate market here in the nation's capital, which is one of the unique things about this city, is it not? Our real estate market is different from pretty well everybody else in the country.
Almost anywhere else. We are one of the strongest and most consistent markets in all of Canada. We brought a little chart just to show the last 10 years, but in 50 years in Ottawa, we consistently rise at a pretty, a great level. This is just the last 10 years showing on the screen now.
Now, every other major city in this country, matter of fact, pretty well every city, big or small, you'll see a roller coaster type graph.
Exactly, and this is one of the few anywhere, especially in any major city, where it continues at a steady, consistent pace throughout the last 50 to 60 years.
Now, that's the last 10 years you showed on the graph, but the 60-year graph would show basically the same sort of growth.
Almost the same. In fact, since 1960, only 1 year was there a drop over 2.5%, and that was 4 in the 60s. But since then, there have only been 3 years with a drop of 2. It's very strong.
I know that you take a look at these trends over a yearly period in multiple years, and not just monthly. And there's a good reason for that, right?
Well, absolutely. You know, the papers reported January was down a little bit. Well, December was up a little bit. So over a 2-month period, we're the same as last year. So comparing any one small period of time, it's tough. And the media seems to blow it out of proportion. But we look year over year. Last year in Ottawa, there were 14,000 homes sold, just over. The year before that, there were just over 14,000 homes. It's been steady and progressive.
Have you identified factors that contribute to this steady pace that we have here, the steady market?
Absolutely. One of the greatest things is we're not just a government town. So going through elections, things slow down a little, but we're not just government. The biggest thing, though, for Ottawa is if you look at Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, people moving there, they often rent. They often take public transport, and they often don't have a job when they move there. Most of the immigration into Ottawa, people have a car, they have a job, and they're buying a house.
Is that right? So they're professionals, they're ready to buy and get into the housing market when they arrive.
And that's how we've expanded when so many cities have stopped. We haven't been as bad as the United States, but there are cities out Western Canada that their markets have dropped 20, 30, 40%.
Yeah, we see it all the time. Like I lived in Calgary for a time, and that's one of those markets with huge spikes, but huge drops as well. So it's interesting to see. What about housing prices in Ottawa, Kent? Is that in line with our steady growth of selling and buying houses?
Actually, we're probably on the low end of Canada. If you look at the national average, it's $365,000. If you look at Ottawa, it's $360,000. A little distorted that way. The actual home price in Ottawa would be $375,000. It's dragged down a bit because of the number of condos that sell that average $270,000. So our average price in Ottawa will show up in the paper between $350,000 and $360,000. Vancouver is double that. The Vancouver average house price, $650,000.
And Toronto's just as bad, pretty well?
Not quite, but absolutely on the way up there. So we're not poised on the edge of the bubble like so many cities, because we haven't had that huge rise, and we're not going to have the huge drop.
Yeah, very interesting, this market. There's no question
we are,
about it.
If you look at when that 10-year graph was up there, that was right after the high-tech meltdown. We had our greatest year ever. The little recession 3-4 years ago, we had our greatest year ever.
It seems like we're immune to those little dips that other people experience because of the economy, hey?
We would have a little dip month over month. You would get a little drop, certainly during an election year. During the election month, we slow down a little bit. When 9/11, we slowed down for 2 or 3 months. But you've got to look long term. Yeah,
we seem to be insulated from that sort of thing a little bit. Speaking of long term, we're going to take a look at the real estate market, buying and selling homes, what to look for. Maybe you're interested in a career in that sort of thing. We're going to explore those avenues over the next little while.
We're going to have on a building inspector, we're going to have on a lawyer, we're going to have on how you get into the industry, how long it takes. Anything you want to know about real estate, we'd love to have it on here.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming by today, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
My pleasure.
Kent Browne here, from broker-owner of Royal LePage team and Royal LePage Gale with On the Market. Looking forward to future segments on the real estate industry. Very interesting stuff.